Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering a signal that's flashing after 4 years for this chart that's been 100% correct over the last 12 to 13 years. I'm also going to look at a chart highlighted by one of our valued subscribers here, showing the potential top at the end of the current bull cycle. I'm also going to analyze the 60-day cycle to provide possible timelines for the direction of the Bitcoin price. And finally, I'm going to give you an insight of what I was saying to the members in the member section this week regarding 2 Bitcoin miners. So if that sounds interesting, then without further ado, drop everything, get yourself a cup of tea, sit yourself down, eyes on the screen, and let's get cracking. But before I begin, the usual polite reminder, please remember everything in my videos is just for educational purposes, so please do your wider research before you make any investment decisions. So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you the chart that's been actually accurate over the last 12 to 13 years. And this chart I've shown you in the past, so it's a good time to actually revisit it just to confirm in our minds where we are or this cycle of the 12 years for Bitcoin. The chart is called the MVRV score. What this is looking at, if you read down here, is that this metric looks at the ratio of market cap and realized cap over the historical market cap standard deviation. So put simply, when the price is lower than the average Bitcoin purchase price for the network, we see this metric dip into the green, i.e. these points here. And when the price starts to really pull away from the cost basis of the network, we see this metric spike up, and it's this red zone up here. So simply, what it's really telling us is that when Bitcoin is in the green zone, that is the best point to actually buy Bitcoin, as you can see. So it's been accurate these last 4 times here, and we're now getting a 5th signal, and as you can see, it's already revisited the green area, and once we get out of the green area, we don't come back into this zone again. As you can see here, we're just leaving the green zone and trying to make a move to the upside. So I thought that was very interesting to share with you. The second chart I want to show you is one shared by one of our subscribers here called Risk Ninja. So thank you very much indeed to him for actually sharing this chart. And it is a chart I've actually shown you in various guises in the past, but it's always nice to have a different angle on the same charts. So what we've really got here is the price over the last 12 to 13 years, and it's looking at the bottom over here and drawing a line all the way through the support line of the price here to the top at this point. And what it's really saying is that the point from here and the support line along the way is predicting the future top of the cycle. And this cycle itself went from the bottom to the top over a period of 321 weekly bars. That's 2,247 days. And then the next cycle in 2018 was predicted by the bottom here at the end of 2014. So if we draw a line from this along the support line, gives us the top over here, which means that the 2017 bull market, which ended over here, and the ensuing bear market at the end of 2018, and if we draw the support lines along the way, so what we get there is a predicted price of 170,000 per Bitcoin. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, but again, very interesting chart that gives us again the overall bigger picture, and that's why we should always look at the bigger picture, i.e. in the next 2 to 3 years, exactly what the price is telling us. So a shout out to Risk Ninja for sharing this chart with all of us here. A quick look at the 60-day cycle, and as you know, overnight the price for Bitcoin has had a large fall over here. And I said in my last video that we need to find support below this candle here, which is about 22,500. So currently we're at 22,300. So let's see where this candle closes today. But should we break that, then the final bastion of support will be this candle over here at 21,300. And if we break this, like I said in the last video, then it looks to me as though we may end up visiting this 18.3 down here. I'm not really expecting this. And the reason why I'm not expecting this is because we have made a very big move to the upside, and we do need a period of consolidation like we did over here before the next move to the upside, and we're doing exactly the same over here. A period of consolidation before the next move up. And if you notice that whenever we come up, we tend to have one big candle to the downside before we move back to the upside. Same over here. We had a big move to the downside, a bit of a fake out to scare people into selling. Remember, the market is always trying to shake you out along the way. And then when we have this shakeout, then it goes back to the upside. And again, this looks like a very similar type of development here, just like the previous two. So what I would be expecting is that for the next few days, we might go sideways, a bit like over here and over here, and then make the move to the upside. We'll have to wait and see, but we certainly have our support levels defined here at 22,500 and 21,300. So these are the two levels to really look out for. And the next level I'm expecting is to break the 25 over here before we make the next move to the next level, which is going to be around about the 28 to 32, as I mentioned in the last video. So not a lot has changed apart from some of the price movements trying to actually shake people out of the market. And we must remain calm and collected. The main thing is not to panic out of these positions over here. Some of the reasons why I think that this is still bullish, if we have a look at the S&P, what we have on the daily chart developing from yesterday is an outside bar candle at the bottom of a bear trend over here. And the Bitcoin is quite well correlated to the S&P, so I would expect a move to the upside after a bullish candle over here. We'll have to wait and see, but it's obviously at a very strong support level that we've had in the past over here. Resistance and support along this line. A quick look at the dollar tells us that we've now had a counter trend. When we came down here, I did mention that it looks like it may have a support around these levels at 101, 102, and we may have a counter trend back to these levels here. That's exactly what it's done. We're back up to around about 104, 105. I would expect a rejection here and make our way down to the next rung at around about the 96, 97 mark. So as the dollar starts to come down, the Bitcoin should start to move up. If we zoom out to the monthly chart, you can see what's happening to the dollar. If we go back over here, the reason why the dollar is very important is that it's obviously the inverse relationship of the Bitcoin price. So if we go back to 2016 over here, between 2016 and 2018, while the dollar came down, the Bitcoin price went up to its previous all-time high of 20,000 at the end of 2017. And as the dollar started to rise, the Bitcoin price went into its bear market phase. And in 2020, when the dollar started to come down, that was when the Bitcoin started to go up. And that ended up with the first top for Bitcoin was in April 2021. And this was where the bottom was for the dollar. And now we seem to be making the same move to the downside. So I'm expecting over the next 2 to 3 years, Bitcoin price to reach its next all-time high. So we'll have to wait and see, but it always pays to have a look at the bigger picture with the dollar as well here. Coming back to the 60-day cycle, we're currently on day 18 from the start of the cycle over here on the 13th of February. And we've got our mid-cycle here drawn with the white lines. So we'll have to see what happens as we move into the mid-cycle. I would be expecting to go into the mid-cycle on a high. So this move over here will tell us whether this is going to be a right or the left translated cycle. Usually at the bottom of a bear market, we tend to get a series of right translated cycles, which tells us that we should move into the mid-cycle point here higher than this point, which is the $25,000 mark. So we'll just have to wait and see whether this happens. I would expect going into the mid-cycle that even if we have a small short-term fall, to be going into this in a bullish way to take out these tops over here. And that would give us the right translated cycle before we move into the 60-day cycle low. Now this point could be up here when we get to the next level, which is around about the 28,800 to this range up to 32,000. The reason why I'm not too concerned with the current fall in the Bitcoin price is that if we go back to the bottom of the previous bear market, what we can see here is the blue line, which is 8 EMA, the yellow is the 21, and the white line is the 34 EMA. And what we've got here is that once the blue line, the 8 EMA crosses the 34 EMA over here, that is usually the marker for big explosive moves to the upside. As the lines are crossing over, you're still going to get some red candles to try and shake people out of the market. And after the COVID situation, exactly the same over here. As the lines crossed over, we got these series of red candles interspersed with the green candles, but that was the marker for the big move to the upside. And if we move to the current price action, you can see quite clearly what's happening. The blue line is about to cross the white line. You can call this a golden cross if you want, but certainly it's a marker that we are moving in the upward direction overall. And it really pays to have a look at the bigger picture with these moving averages. They're telling you a story which is very different to the short-term picture that the Bitcoin price is painting. So what we've got is this current red candle over here, while the 8 EMA is about to cross 34 EMA. So we'll have to wait and see. The cross is nearly done, maybe next week, maybe week after, but certainly it's a critical point, and I think that this is telling us that the market will be going up rather than down. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick insight into what I was telling the members who are interested in the Bitcoin miners, where I predicted the marathon target price for 2025, and I also did a special feature on one of the companies which I think has the greatest potential to grow for the next 2 to 3 years. And what I was saying about this company with the greatest potential growth is that over the coming months, we're going to be seeing around about a 570% increase in its share price. So here's a little insight into that. But what I want to point out, if we have a look at the weekly chart, to give you a big picture view, you'll know this is very familiar because what we've got here is a development of a left shoulder up to this neckline over here at $2.50. We've had the head down here, and what we're forming at the moment is a potential, just like in Bitcoin, a potential right shoulder here. And what that normally tells us is that once we break this neckline at around about the $2.50, we're going to have an explosive move to the upside. And if you want to measure that upside, from the bottom here at 38 cents to the neckline is around about 570%. So if this inverse head and shoulders play out, we should have around about a 570% increase over here, which is going to be around about where we first started. And in the next week's members video, I'm going to be analyzing another high potential growth Bitcoin miner. So if you're interested in this high risk but high reward sector, then all you have to do is to click on the join button below all of my videos down here. And I've also got a membership link to join up in the description box down here. For those of you who have already joined, thank you very much indeed for joining. I hope you're enjoying some of the videos that I've already made for you. And as I've said many times, that we're at the start of a 2 to 3 year journey to benefit from this leverage play on the Bitcoin price. Okay, so we'll leave it there. I hope you found value in the video. If you did, then please do remember to like and subscribe and to turn on the notification bell. If you have any comments, questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.